Okay, so we are live. A very good afternoon here from the UK. So, welcome again back to another episode of Online Business Discussions. So, today I have some more of my business partners, and today I've decided to go all English. And it's a very interesting topic that we are going to discuss today. But before all that, for people who don't know me and who are new to my page, as well as for the benefit of my business partners pages, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Susie Jacob. I'm an online business coach, and I've been an online business owner now for about over 2.5 years. It's been the best decision, one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. By training and background, I'm a general practitioner here in the UK. I'm still a practicing GP. I live here in the UK with my husband, who's a private chef by background, who's completely now retired since 14 months into the business. I am now part-time, and we live with our 16-year-old daughter. And thanks to the business, we are able to travel when we want to and how many times we want to. So it's been an amazing, amazing journey. So let's go on to our discussion today. So first we'll go to Dr. Lena. Hi, Dr. Lena.
Hello, Dr. Susie and everybody. Nice to be here.
Yeah, likewise. So thank you for joining us today. So today I thought about, discussing, so I'm sure a lot of people ask this question, they keep wondering, you know, about, why, all these professionals are doing the online business. And it's from my experience, and I know I'm sure you have a similar thing, is, there comes a moment in time, you keep going, you are unhappy, but you just keep going thinking this is life, and you prod along, and then there comes a moment in your life where you tell yourself never again. Okay, and what was your never, just to introduce yourself, and what was your never again moment, really?
Thank you, Susie. So my never again moment, I think you can see in my, the background I have for my go live today is a small village in the Himalayas, and I was trekking 2 years ago after having worked really non-stop, relentlessly during the pandemic response, and I decided enough is enough. That's it. I have a life, I have a family, I have my hobbies, and I have to take a break from I need to basically protect myself now. Although as a public health doctor, obviously I'm always thinking about population, public health, and saving lives, and that's really like that's matters to me a lot, which is why I'm in the profession. I'm really passionate about my work, but there comes a time when you have to really draw some boundaries, and the work had become so overwhelming. 16, 18 hour shifts at work,
Yeah,
and I'm sure people don't want to remember all of the times four
yeah,
years ago,
yeah.
but it was all about contact tracing and making sure we develop the guidance and everything, and it became really started to take a toll on me. And the same time, my son was preparing for his university, and he was preparing for competitive exams, for his university admission. And I was really torn between my work, which was really important. I was torn between like providing him all the support going through a stressful period, application for universities for, a competitive kind of career, and not having enough time to really even relax and unwind and rejuvenate myself. And that really triggered me to the point that I've done my career in public health for over 25 years, and I'm still passionate about the cause. But I think I have realized that that's when I realized that even if I love my job, I love my career, it's not going to be at the expense of my family time, my health, and my well-being. So that's when I started looking for an opportunity for a flexible business, which I could do with no business background, but having a lot of passion and energy to whatever I do in my work, but something that I could do, in my own time. So it was not so much, Susie, about the money, because I was earning a decent income as a consultant in the UK, but it was more of getting out of the grind and also living the life, a more fulfilling, life in terms of hobbies, in terms of being there for family when they need it the most. And I realized that the job I was in was, no matter how satisfying it was kind of costing me a lot in terms of my personal life. And I think that was my thinking, and that was my never again moment, in a sense, to say I want something where I can work towards having that flexibility and also getting that time freedom. I can reclaim back my time. And I found this opportunity where I'm now building, that kind of freedom, where I can control my time. I can say I'm going to work, still continue to do my work passionately, but then I have also other responsibilities and other hobbies, like you see, going for a trek, for example. And I think this online business offers us that opportunity to do that. So that's me. Thank you.
Oh, that was great, Lena. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that is a story that resonates well with myself, because, I was in a similar state during the pandemic. I think everyone in frontline, especially, it was a very hard time. I was working 55 hours at that time. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't working at that time, and I was worried whether, I was working the extra hours to make sure everything's comfortable at home. And then people died. And as a GP, and you end up doing a lot of death certs and doing 5 death certificates one day, calling the coroner for 3 of them. It's a very, very traumatic experience, unless you've ever had that. Some people might not resonate with what I'm saying, but if you're a doctor, probably you will. So it's not something that you want to live through. And obviously that affects your mental health. And then, my daughter coming back home, she was very unhappy. And one day, my never again was, one day she told me right at my face, Mama, whether you're there at home or not, it's just the same for me. That was like a dagger stabbing right into my heart. It's something like any mom wouldn't want to hear, like their own daughter or son telling them, like, you're like nobody, like, because you don't fulfill your role. And that, for me, even though my husband lost his job, it was one thing after the other. Husband was not having a job, and me working that many hours, going through all those traumatic scenarios of all those death certifications, seeing a lot of patients and all. I think the pinnacle when I had it enough and I said enough is when your own family member, you think people, your family, you're working hard for them, but when your children feel like, but the most important thing I want is you. And when you're not able to offer that to them, and when they actually from the innocence of their heart says things like that, then this has to change. And that was my never again moment. And like yourself, I was earning very decent salary. I'm still earning a decent salary working part-time, but that was not the issue for me. I had to put in my time to earn. I had to put in 50 hours to earn the amount of money that I was earning, and that means, I'd never had any time off. If I and my husband wanted to go on holiday, both of us have to get time off together, which we weren't. There were several times when we went separate holidays just because we couldn't go together. It was now thinking back, I find it absolutely ridiculous, really. And what do we do as people? We normalize it. What do we do as people? Like, I went back into full-time work when my daughter was 10 months old. And I remember, I was doing a night shift, and she was around 1 or just turned 1 around that time. She took her first step. And I wasn't at home. My mom was looking after her, and she took a video. And I was doing a night shift, and she sent it to me while I was doing my night shift. And I just burst out into tears. I think a mom should be at home for all those special milestones. But at that point in time, I had to work. You had to just go back to work. You need to make ends meet. You can't be on maternity forever, isn't it? So, and then, nobody said that was the wrong thing to do, because everyone's like, oh, we have to pay the bills. But I strongly feel now like that's absolutely wrong. Actually, a mom missing out milestones and things like that. But at that point, my daughter is 16 now, going on to 17. At that time there was no online business. At least I could give the excuse, that I had no other option. But I think to all new moms out there, you do have an option, and you don't have to sacrifice your time with your children or in the name of your career. Like, at the end of the day, when my daughter told me, mom, whether you're there in the house or not at home, it's all the same to me. At that point of time, I looked at my MBBS certificate, like, I visualized it. I visualized, doing those MRCP, MRCGP, my teacher course certifications, my diabetes certifications, all these, some of the others which I don't even want to mention. And for me at that point, you know what I felt this is just a piece of paper. And that's exactly, this is just a piece of paper. And that piece of paper shouldn't define me, because what's actually important to me is my family. And I made a decision at that point in time, enough is enough. And I am going to make sure, obviously, we all need money, but we need to think smart and not think, we are our profession. We are more than our profession, really. And yeah, and that was the start of my journey, and the rest is history. So thank you once again, Lena. Now over to you, Kumudini. So just introduce yourself, and what was your never again moment?
Thank you so much, Dr. Susie, inviting us. Thank you, everyone watching where you are connecting from. I'm Kumudini. I'm working as an advanced nurse practitioner in UK, in GP surgery, and I am proud digital business owner now. Now 1.5 years actually, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm original from Sri Lanka. Whoever looking Sri Lankans. Yeah, as Dr. Susie said, and also Dr. Lena said, yes, I had that moment as well. But I never thought that there is a possibilities, online business. I thought I became a nurse in here, and then I advanced my career as advanced nurse practitioner. I thought the only nursing career, can earn money. And I never think about anything like that. But I know that, we have to dedicate our time, the time with our, loved ones. Especially, I got 2 girls here, and I lost, so much actually time. I remember when I started my BSc nursing in here, my youngest 9th month, she's 9 months old. So thinking about that, and actually I lost, her moment so much. And also after pandemic, things has changed 2019, and I was thinking like, people earn in a smart way, online spaces. Why I can't do that? Something, another opportunity, spending time with my children. And I was looking something, but really I couldn't find. But anyway, that opportunity given me, that actually blessing for me, 2023. And when I saw that, another ad, like, social media, another doctor working in a GP surgery. So I found that, oh my God, if she can do that, with her time, so I got the same time, and, so I can do as well. So that's why I looked this opportunity. And since that, I was like, so I don't have to worry about working until 67. And also, like in primary care, we all know we earn good money, but it's not about the money. And the thinking about the mental pressure, like we see patient every day, like maybe 30 patients, and it's so much we need to take it in. But and thinking about that, I was thinking, now I don't have to do this until 67. I got something now. So I know there are some other GPs, oh my God, we haven't got anything, we have to work on, nothing to do. So what can we do after 67, or something like that? But I was thinking, I was reflecting myself, thank God, this opportunity. I can do something, even now I know that I don't have to work actually until that time. But of course, I might do a couple of hours because of to, keep my registration. But imagine taking that stress, until 70, especially like other people, like imagine taking 30 people's stress every day and having that, you have some other things as well in your life. How can you live that? So imagine, that opportunity. So now I don't have to worry about that. I'm so relaxed because actually I'm doing part-time now. So as you all can see, I'm at home today. And also, I got business blessing, so everything is I'm doing, while at home. So, and also this business has given me so much confidence, like, the person I'm talking now, it wasn't like, 1.5 years ago. I was so shy, and even, very even posting anything like that, I'm so shy. I don't want to do any videos or anything like that. But I don't have any fears now. And the other things, like, improving mindset, it's not only about the business thing, and our life as well, it has changed so much. So there are so many things actually can say, but it's never ending anyway. And yeah, so that's my life. But I don't, when I think about now, um especially like, I working, like I work before like 5 days, and I don't have to do that. So it's never again for me. And thinking about the retirement, so I know I got good opportunity. I don't have to worry, and I can happily do my job part-time, and also this business, and also I can help other people to, achieve the same thing. And and also, imagine dreaming whatever you want. So there is a possibility, this business. Anything you can want, you can get from this business. So that's what I can say. So this is the opportunity I found, and it is a blessing, actually, in my life. So thank you so much, Dr. Susie.
Thank you so much, Kumadini. And absolutely, absolutely. This business is not just about money. The money is great. I used to work, and people, some, previously in our traditional brick and mortar businesses, if you are able to cut even, in around 5 to 7 years time, that's great, really. But in our business, most people start, like, for instance, I completely retired my husband, who was earning as much as me, within 14 months into the business. And I used to work, when I started this business, I was working 50 hours or even more. And now I work around 28 hours. And all this is within, 20 months into the business. Your life completely changes, because when you, and I feel as a doctor, I'm a better doctor, because, less is more. When you are less, the time that you spend, you give your 100%. Not that I wasn't giving my 100%, but, you are, you're so tired, you're so exhausted, and sometimes you're so snappy, and you can't show that at work. You come home and show that to the people you love, and it's not fair. It's not fair at all. And now, because you have time to unwind, work on your mindset, well, and then, enjoy family time, go on vacations, go see the world, see the nature, enjoy the beauty of nature, all that is possible when there is time freedom. That comes from the business, because we work smart. It's not that we don't work, we all work. So the results that we are describing is not a get to quick rich scheme. I was working 50 hours and plus doing the business for about 14 months before I could retire my husband. So it wasn't an easy thing. No one's saying it's easy, but it is very simple, especially if you ever gone through university and all. I usually tell, there's a few doctors in my team, I usually tell guys, if you've done medicine, this is not rocket science. You can do it. It is a very simple thing. It's not easy, but it's very simple. But you have to put the effort in to see the results that we are describing today. So next, over to you, Anu. So if you'd introduce yourself, and what was your never again moment?
Thank you so much, Dr. Susie, for letting me come to this live session. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching as a live or replay. If you don't know me, my name is Anu Stanley, and I'm from USA, New Jersey. I'm a nurse by profession. Currently, I work as a nursing supervisor in a psychiatric facility. So I have a lot to say. I mean, since 19 years, I'm in this, I'm in US, but I'm telling you, I never had a financial freedom. So this was like, we have a lot of things to do here, right? I mean, like mortgages, loans, all those. But then, you know what? We have to work hard. We have to work 2 jobs and, overtime, extra shift. But let me tell you, mine was not an easy journey. I worked 7 years night shift. That destroyed my health. Actually, during those years, when I think about that, I was forced to work night shift because I never liked night shift. I was in a Middle East country before almost 8 years. So during that time, I was working in outpatient, so I didn't have to do night shift. So when I came here, I never liked. So when my second son was born, we have no option. We have to take care of my son, right? So we were doing the opposite shift. So then that made me like, I mean, I can't even imagine that. I was so irritable. I was so depressed. I was just doing the night shift, nothing else. And my life was like that. So then it came like my health was really destroyed, and then I couldn't do overtime. But still, let me tell you, without overtime and extra shift, nothing, you can't survive. So before 6 years, my older one went to university. That's the time I realized that we have nothing. So then anyway, he took loan and studied. But since 2023, I was thinking something else to do. So what I did, 2024, starting of the year, I started my MSN. So I thought, okay, I can't go back to bedside nursing. So I have to do something. So I thought, okay, I will take in education masters so I can teach. So that will be an easy job. And, so I was thinking, and then after the third course, I was really stressed out. So when you take too much stress, your health is becoming worse, right? My health became worse. And then I decided, oh, this is not going to work for me. So I just stopped. And I'm thinking, what should I do? And I had no choice. I don't know what to do. I was seeing this online business, but I was thinking, but I only know nursing. So what am I going to do with the business? So I don't know nothing. So when I met my mentor, I really, she's an RN. So I saw her and I something stuck in me, and I told, okay, let me ask what it is. And then I came to this business. I mean, when I paid 149, I had to face so many challenges. So within a month, I took refund. And then still, when I came to the Facebook, our VIP business page, so I saw so many people's success story. It's not only the money. There were so many things people were posting, and I was like, oh my gosh, so this is something really nice. So I just decided to go back. Then I joined in this business. Let me tell you, this is not only money. Okay, I got for more than 2 months, I did not start my business. I did everything, setting ups and everything. Because I had so many challenges, especially my skeptical spouse. So he was giving me such a hard time. So I was like, you know what? Okay, but I just started. I had a faith in myself. I took a leap of faith, and my mindset was like, then I started to listen to all the masterminds, and then daily drop-ins. And then not only that, our go-getters family, they were giving me, every Saturday, that session, like Dr. Susie and all the leaders they're not getting anything, but they are giving so much information. So that made I was growing. My personal life was changed, and I don't know, I developed a new skill, and I had no idea of how much I gained from this business. And I couldn't even talk confidently, even though I'm a supervisor. I do all the work, and I'm efficient in that, but my coming to a social media and talking, and people were like, so many of my friends, families, and so many people said to me, Anu, oh, we didn't know that you have that talent. So I was like, oh, that is great. So you know what? So I'm telling you, this moment was an awesome moment. I came to this business. Now I can proudly say that I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor. I can teach people, and I can do everything. And this is I mean, people may think that, okay, you are going for money. But after coming to this, you will realize that benefits of this business. So like Dr. Susie, they all explained everything very well, because it's anyone can do this. This is it's set up for normal people. So like me, I didn't know nothing. I only knew nursing, as everyone said. So when I came, and I'm so impressed by this business. That's what I'm telling. It has huge potential. That's a different story. But I'm successfully running this business, and it changed my life. I can say that I don't regret at all with this. I'm so happy and excited about this journey, and I'm fond of this. I'm passionate about this business. That's all I can say. Thank you so much, Dr. Susie, for this time.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much for that. And that's absolutely true. When I initially came into the business, I'm not. I'm an introvert, really. So, like what you said, like we're good at our jobs. We talk to people and things like that. But I could stay in my room for days with a book and absolutely love it. While my husband and my daughter, they are extroverts. They'll go mad. So during the pandemic, they weren't doing very well. And I was the introverted person needing to go out all the time. And they were the extroverts in the house. It was not fun, actually. It was not fun at all during those times. And when I told my husband, like I didn't actually tell my husband I was going, I started the business. It's only after a few weeks that he came to know that I jumped into something like that. And he was so upset with me. He's like, you don't like someone even taking your photograph. You don't like going in front of the camera. You don't like going in front of the stage to talk to somebody. And you don't like, like the thing is, if I would rather not go up and ask somebody a question. I would rather Google, and find the answer for myself, just because I don't want to go and approach that person and ask the question. I was that kind. So my husband's first thing is, what are you doing? You just wasted the money and things like that. You are a complete introvert. You don't like going and talking to people, and you've jumped into this kind of scenario. And I told him, you don't, I know you're very skeptical, you're negative about my thing, but we can't live our lives like this anymore. And I said I had enough. And unless we change our scenario, we are going to live like this. So we can't expect life to change if something doesn't change. And I said, I'm just giving myself an opportunity. And I was so fed up with where I was at that point in time. I said, I am willing to take that uncomfortable action and do it. It was a very difficult change for me, like from an introverted person, slowly, but I did the work. So what did I do? Like I took the camera, like I, started talking. And then, then I realized talking in front of the camera is just nobody else is there. So it's fine. Like I'm just talking in front of the camera. And I still have my first video, which I've taken. And in that, I still laugh when I look at that. In that video, I'm like, then, I'm looking up, then I'm like, then I'll say 2-3 lines. And then again, I'm like thinking what it was. When I look at that video and the videos I do now, it's completely different. And that's how we all start. And that's fine. It's a journey. And and that's how it is. I really wanted to change, and I knew I had to change what I'm doing to make that change happen. And I was willing to take. And then the beautiful thing about our business is, when you are in the midst of this uncomfortable change, and even if you have people around you who are not supportive, you have a community that's supportive. You have a community that's going to push you. And you know what? You can earn money in different ways. Like I'm a doctor. I can earn money as a doctor. But, that was just taking a toll in my mental health, my family health, and other things. So I decided to work smart. But the thing is, people are too skeptical when they think about the online space. And you need, when you jump into doing a business, most business, 90% of businesses fail is because you don't have that community. You don't have a mentor and a coach. Why do you need that mentor and a coach? Because if you don't have it, you're going to make all the possible mistakes. While if you have a mentor and a coach, we are going to tell you, don't do that, don't step into that, because I've done it and it didn't work out good, so skip that and do it the other way. So what will happen? That's why you're seeing the kind of results we are talking about, like being boss free in 6 months, 10 months, 14 months. It's all possible because there is the mentorship. And unlike other mentorships where you might have a mentor for 3 months or 12 months or something like that, and after that you have to fend for yourself, our business model is for life. So you have this community for life. You have the mentorship and the coaching for life. Once you are in, there's no further membership fees. Because I've done other memberships, I've done a bit of property and other stuff and done other mentorship courses. I know, because all that is after 3 months, after 12 months, you're out. So we are successful because of our community. We are successful because we are associating with the right people with the right mindset, and we have the training and the tools necessary to become successful. So thank you so much, Anu. That was wonderful. And last but not the least, Steffi. Hi, Steffi. How are you doing? You're still in the car. I can see just finished work.
Yes, I'm just still in the car, just literally finished the work.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. So we are talking today about our never again moment. So if you could introduce a bit about yourself and what was your never again moment?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Susi. So those who don't know me, I'm Steffi. I'm based in UK. I've been working as a nurse specialist in the UK. So it's been 10 years since I'm in UK, and there were many never again moments. So I came to know about this business through my college senior. She's been in my Facebook. She's been posting about this, several times I've seen, but then I just ignore it, or it's something not for me. That was my, initial impression. But then I think last year, so I took up a responsibility in my job, and then it was a fixed term post, but then it was told that it would, there is a opportunity to become permanent, and suddenly the fixed term post ended. And it was one of those moments where you just literally face a sort of uncertainty, like I've got a mortgage and other responsibilities, and you suddenly like kind of having that fear of going jobless or not having sort of a financial backup. I think that was the pivotal moment that I contacted her and sort of getting to know, and it was kind of just jumping in. But then to talk a little bit more about, the why or the reasons behind it, I think everyone has already touched base with professional journeys and how consuming the work culture is. And I so many times I felt like, especially just before the pandemic, there was a death in the family, and I felt like I was quite struggling. And it's literally taking a toll on your mental health and emotional health, and having to manage relationships, having to manage professional commitments. I think it's been a bit of a struggle, especially during that COVID time. So having looked back, I think we only live for once, just like the slogan. And there's a lot of online freedom, financial freedom, a lot of YouTubers, influencers. The digital media has taken a storm out there. So I don't think like you don't have to live a life by compromising something. You have to pay for your happiness. That's not the life I think we should live for. So having thinking about all those aspects, I was like obviously looking for something that I wanted to have a initially take it as a side hustle, but something additional, whether it's learning a new skill or getting more financial freedom. I was looking for something like this for a long time. And I think pretty much all of those reasons, with having burnouts several times, a lot of toxic work culture, and especially to have more from life. I think that's the main thing that I'm looking forward for. I'm fairly new in the business, but still having hopes, listening to different testimonials and living examples. So I'm staying optimistic and really looking forward.
Thank you, Steffi. Thank you. But that's the thing. Your journey starts from day one, isn't it? Because the thing is, as soon as you come into the business, you enter this community and you look at people and say, wow. You'll go, wow, when will I be that person? When will I be this person? You're always looking at somebody else and like, wow, amazing. And then, you have something to strive for. And as professionals, because all of us are professionals, if we don't keep learning something, at least for me, I keep, it's so boring. Life can be boring. I like learning and keeping on learning everything. And in this business, because it's social media and it's so, fast paced, things keep changing all the time. So it really takes your brain, and that's actually good for your brain health, because you're keeping your learning all the time. It delays dementia or even prevents dementia, because you're actually, working on your brain, isn't it? So it does a lot of things, because if you are just doing something monotonously, not learning anything, you're not actually growing. And if you're not growing, you're not actually adding any value. So what we do as a community is we provide you with value. We share our stories, and we give you all a hope that whichever rut you're in. So you've heard of different examples of people, not having family time, being in toxic workplaces, having health issues, and, having no time really for them for self-care. What self-care? I didn't even know what, the concept of self-care, because you don't have any time for yourself, isn't it? And the importance of those things, we just completely ignore those things. And then your health deteriorates, and then you can't go into work because you're healthy. And then how would you pay your mortgage? When you're young, when you're in your 20s, you don't really care. There was a day when someone didn't turn up for work, and I worked 7 days, like 24 hours. And, I enjoyed it. At the end of the day, I came up, feeling so pumped up. Yeah, I did something for the universe. I did something for this world. Now I can't even think about it. I think I'll have a complete breakdown if I do something like that. And I'd probably say, no, I'm not doing that. That's it. You have to fend for yourself, get someone, pay the money, get a locum in, and do whatever you need to do. But when I was that young in my 20s, 24, 25, and not married, no kids, you do whatever you want to at that point in time, isn't it? But when kids come in, when you have that mortgage, when you're in your 40s and 50s, when your health starts, you might look young, but things aren't that young anymore in your body. It's time to actually really think about it. You might be having a good job, but what if someone in your family or you are having a health issue? Or what if, the examples that we spoke about, job redundancies, like Steffi was talking about it, like it was a fixed term. No one was giving guarantee about, is it going to be extended or not, and things like that. What will happen to your mortgage? Yeah. And if you have a good job and your partner's also having a good job, you don't get time off together. It's a very common scenario. You don't get time off together. You go first, they come join in later, or you go another time, and things like that. A very common scenario that you will actually see. And when you think of it, it's madness. It's just absolute madness, and we shouldn't be living that way. So the best thing is, obviously we all still working professionals, because we love what we do. We want to keep up our registration also. So we're all still working. But when you work part-time, you can go take holidays several times a year. Our business model is, because we do social media marketing, when you go on a holiday, that's a business expense. Fantastic again, and you go several times a year on a holiday. Those are all the perks. And not only that, the best and most foremost is you find your own tribe. You find your tribe where you can come, you become like that shining beacon. Because I think when I joined the business, I actually truly found myself. Before, I was in my own world, working as a doctor, yes, saving lives and things like that. But now I feel that I have found more meaning and purpose to my life. And I just want to share this opportunity so that your life will also have some more meaning and purpose. And you will live a life worth living, and also come and help other people, there's so many people, hurting people out there, and we just want to show that light. We just want to share that love and this opportunity for you. So you see all us lovely ladies here. So if you, wherever you're watching, if you want to know more about this opportunity, don't let this pass you by. It doesn't cost you a thing to find out more information. Check this opportunity for yourself. Then do your research and then make a decision whether this is for you or not. Okay, if it's not for you, God bless you, that's it. But what if this is for you and you let this pass by because of some skepticism or because of some past failures? Like, I have lost money in crypto, I've lost money in business deals and things like that in the past. If I had let those kind of feelings stop me from starting this business, I wouldn't be where I am. And that's all part of the journey. Like Thomas Edison, he never, somebody asked him, like, oh, what do you have to say for the 1,000 times you failed? Oh, I didn't fail 1,000 times, I just found 1,000 times ways of not making the light bulb. So that's a change in switch in your mindset. And that's what this opportunity does. You never say you're a failure, you just found a way of not doing it and helping others by telling them don't go there, kind of thing. And we are here to support you in that journey. So get in touch, find more about our business opportunity, and I hope to see some of you all on our side contacting us. All right, stay blessed. Thank you, ladies, once again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.